Today, we are talking about what's really happening while you wait for those two pink lights. Because if you've been trying to conceive for months or even years, you know this journey can become emotionally exhausting fast. We're diving into supplement overload, hormone health, stress, nourishment, marriage, and the hidden ways your body may be asking for support instead of survival mode. And if you ever wonder, what else can I do? This episode will help you stop guessing and start understanding your body in deeper way. So grab your notebook, take a deep breath, and let's dive in. Do you long to get pregnant and trust your body again? Do you feel exhausted by the month after month cycle of hope and disappointment? Do you carry that creeping sense of failure? The fear that your body just isn't working the way that it should? If so, I'm so glad that you're here, my friend. Hi, I'm Mariana, a wife, mom, and a fertility care practitioner. After years of confusion and heartache, I learned how to understand my cycle with clarity and move towards pregnancy naturally by following a real system instead of guessing. This is Fertile Window Lab. If you're ready for real clarity about your cycle, a simple method that works, and less pressure from predictions, alarms, and fertility gymnastics, sit down the sticks, pop in your earbuds, and let's make sense of your fertility together. I have sat across many couples who arrive at the first consultation emotionally exhausted. By the time they find restorative fertility care, may have already been around the block with interventions, partial answers, or years of disappointment. So they tell me, I have tried everything the doctor told us to do. Others have already walked through IUI or IVF, carrying not only drained hope, but a drained bank accounts too. And many come in saying something like, before we close this chapter, we just want answers. By the end of the consultation, many couples say, I didn't know this before. But I also see another reality. When someone has been in the journey for years, sometimes hope feels hard to access anymore. And hearing the healing may take 12 to 18 months can feel devastating because to them, the target already feels like it's moving farther away, especially when the clock feels slow. What I have found, though, is that this pressure is deeply personal. I have heard women in their late 20s say, I'm running out of time. And I have heard women in their late 40s say, I'm finally ready to begin. So often, this isn't just about age. It's about grief, expectations, fear, comparison, pressure, and the emotional weight carried through the process. Many couples begin this journey wanting to grow their family, but somewhere along the way, it turns into quietly survival mode. And at the 12-month mark especially, I see exhaustion set in, not because they're weak, but because trying to conceive can slowly become consuming. They're tracking everything, analyzing symptoms, researching constantly, trying the next supplement, the next protocol, the next miracle solution online. Meanwhile, many are living under chronic stress, poor sleep, nutrient depletion, over-exercising, or not exercising at all. And then comes comparison, watching someone else getting pregnant immediately or hearing, we weren't even trying. That can trigger such a deep pain and questioning. Why us? Some people fill the gap by staying endlessly productive. New certification, new projects, new house, busy schedules, and sometimes they begin carrying two identities. The version of themselves everyone sees and the private fertility struggle they barely talk about, which is understandable. Many couples want to protect how sacred this journey feels, but not having support, not feeling safe to talk honestly, can become incredibly isolating. But after doing so many pregnancy evaluations with couples who eventually conceive, I have noticed something surprisingly. Yes, they celebrate the two pink lines, but almost every couple has a version of this. I feel healthier now. Our marriage has become stronger. I've learned so much about my body. I heal emotionally in ways I did not expect it. And I finally stopped fighting my body and started listening to it. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because while waiting for pregnancy can feel like life is on hold, so much is actually happening in the waiting. And over time, I noticed something else too. Many women come into this journey focused only on getting pregnant. But along the way, they begin uncovering areas of health, stress, nourishment, and emotional well-being that might have been quietly asking for attention for years. But because when we are desperate for answers, it is easy to start searching for quick fixes. Next supplement, next protocol, the next thing that promises control. But restorative health often asks a deeper question, not just what can I add, but what foundations may be missing. And one of the biggest areas I see women struggle with today is supplement overload. I'm actually known for being a plant killer. Seriously, I have struggled to keep plants alive for years, but somehow I managed to keep one alive for almost 3 years now, which honestly feels like a major accomplishment for me. And what I learned is that keeping a plant alive is not about randomly pouring things into it and hoping for the best. I had to learn how much light it needed, when it needed water, when the soil needed nutrients, and when it needed a bigger pot, and how to care for damaged leaves, especially after my toddler decided to trim a few times. And one day it hit me. This is exactly how many women approach fertility and supplement. We keep adding things, hoping something finally works, without actually understanding what the body actually needs. But supplements, they're not meant to be the foundation of our health. And I think many women now are stuck in supplement overload. Every month, there is a new fertility vitamin, a new powder, a new hormone balancing mix, a new hormone balancing trend, a new miracle protocol online. Taking supplement without understanding deficiencies is like throwing random ingredients into a recipe and hoping it turns into a cake, because more is not always better. Just because someone else took a supplement and conceived doesn't mean your body has the same deficiency, stressors, or a root issue. For example, vitamin D can play a vital role in fertility. Healthy vitamin D levels support hormone balance, ovulation, egg quality, sperm health, immune regulation, and yes, if someone is deficient, supplementation may truly help. But here's the bigger picture. Our bodies were naturally designed to receive vitamin D through sunlight and daily rhythms. So sometimes the answer is not only what supplement do I buy, but also how am I living. My recommendation is to start becoming curious instead of reactive. Instead of blindly adding more supplements, ask, have I actually tested my levels? Am I sleeping well? Am I supporting blood sugar balance? Am I spending time outside? Am I chronically stressed? Is my body absorbing nutrients well? Sometimes a simple walk outside at sunrise or at sunset can become a double win. Movement, stress support, circadian rhythm regulation, and a natural sunlight exposure. I always say we're more like plants than we think. We need light, rest, nourishment, healthy rhythms, and the right environment to thrive. Now, doesn't mean supplements are bad, but some women truly need target support. The goal is to supplement, not to overload. We want to understand, what is the supplement actually doing? Why does my body need it? And how does it fit into the bigger picture of restorative health? And this leads to nourishment matters more than what we think. One thing I hear often during my sessions is, why do I crave so many carbs or sweets right before my period? And honestly, I used to experience that too. I've always loved chocolate, not just a little bit either. Chocolate cake, chocolate bars, chocolate milkshakes, especially right before my period. But what I eventually realized was that my body was not asking for sugar, was asking for support. As women, we cycle hormonally every month, and different phases of our cycles increase body nutritional demands, especially during the second half of our cycle after ovulation. The body is preparing hormonally for possible implantation. That process requires energy, minerals, nutrients, and hormonal communication. So sometimes cravings are not random. The body may actually be trying to communicate a need. For many women, magnesium is one of those missing pieces. Magnesium supports more than 300 processes in the body, including hormonal balance, sleep, muscle relaxation, stress regulation, energy production, and blood sugar support. And interestingly enough, real cacao, is naturally rich in magnesium. So when I learned this, I realized my body may be asking for minerals, but I was responding with highly processed versions of chocolate loaded with sugar instead. And listen, there's no shame in that. Most of us were never taught how to connect cravings with nourishment. But the body's smart. I think about it like a fruit plant. If a plant is depleted, lacking sunlight, poorly nourished, and constantly stressed, it's going to struggle to produce fruit. Not because the plant is bad, but because the environment matters. And honestly, like I say, we're not that different. Our bodies need light, minerals, rest, hydration, nourishment, and healthy rhythms. Fertility is not just about reproductive organs. It's about the whole body feeling safe and supported enough to function well. So again, instead of asking, what supplement should I take? Start asking, how can I nourish my body better? And this may look like adding magnesium-rich foods, eating more protein and whole foods, balancing blood sugar, reducing ultra-processed food, prioritizing sleep, getting in sunlight, walking daily, and supporting the stress levels. Foods that are naturally rich in magnesium include pumpkin seeds, dark leafy greens, beans, avocados, chia seeds, dark chocolate, quinoa, and nuts. And yes, sometimes supplementation is appropriate and helpful, but food first foundations matters because the body doesn't only need isolated nutrients. It needs an environment that supports healing and hormonal balance. And this leads into my third point. Your body also needs emotional safety and support. One thing I have noticed after walking with many couples through fertility journey is this. While they're waiting for those two pink lines, a lot is happening in between. Every month carries its own emotional process. There is excitement for trying, the hope, the disappointment, the courage to begin again, the difficult conversations, medical decisions, and the waiting. And over time, this journey will taste patience in ways many couples never expected. I truly believe fertility journeys ask couples to grow in two major ways: faith and connection. Faith that their prayers are heard. Faith that their story is not forgotten. Faith that even without a timeline, their lives still hold meaning and purpose. And honestly, not knowing when something will happen can feel both sweet and frightening at the same time. One question I often get during the initial inquiries is, does my husband really need to attend the sessions? And my answer is yes, especially at the beginning. Not because it's a requirement, but because women feel supported when their spouse is involved. They feel less alone, more understood, more emotional safe. And many husbands begin learning things that were never taught before about fertility, hormones, cycle health, stress, and how to become a true support system during the journey. And this is more important than many people realize, because our emotional states affects physical health too. The body responds to chronic stress differently than it responds to connection, support, rest, and emotional stability. Healthy relationships and emotional intimacy influence stress hormones, nervous system regulation, sleep, mood, and even important neurochemicals connected to bonding and well-being. Things like dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin all play important roles in attachment, emotional regulation, and intimacy. We're not machines, and sometimes, while couples are asking, what else can we do to support fertility? Part of the answers may also include slowing down, reconnecting, communicating honestly, and learning how to carry their journey together instead of in isolation. So if you are in the waiting season right now, don't only focus on fixing your body. Also ask how we're caring for our relationship. How are we handling stress? Are we emotionally isolated? Do we feel supported? Are we making room for rest, connection, and honesty? Because even in strong marriages, fertility journeys often ask couples to deepen their connection in unexpected ways. And if there has been distance, avoidance, resentment, or emotional exhaustion, this can also become an opportunity to reconnect and rebuild together. The waiting season is not only about shaping hormones and cycles, it's about shaping hearts, marriages, resilience, and the kind of support system that nurture that future family life will need. So today, we talk about something that I think many couples quietly experience during fertility journeys. The feeling that life is on hold while waiting for those two pink lines. But what I hope this episode reminding you is that waiting is not passive. So much is happening in the waiting. Your body is communicating, your health is revealing important information, your habits are being shaped, your marriage may be deepening, your resilience is growing, and many times healing is happening in ways we cannot fully see yet. We also talk about how supplements can be helpful tools, but they're not magic solutions or replacements for foundational health. We talk about how to nourish your body instead of constantly reacting to symptoms, and how emotional safety, support, connection, and stress regulation matter too. Because fertility is never just physical. It involves the whole person. And honestly, I keep coming back to this image of the plant. A healthy plant doesn't produce fruits because we panic at it, or because we overload it with random products, or because we compare it to the plant next to it. It produces fruit when it has the right environment, the light, the water, the nourishment, healthy roots, and consistent care. And I think sometimes we need to remember that our bodies deserve that kind of care too. Not punishment, not constant fear, no survival mode, but nourishment, rhythm, healing, and restoration. If you are tired of navigating confusion on your own, I want to personally invite you to book a fertility clarity call with me. This is a 1-hour personalized session where we assess your cycle patterns, timing, fertility signs, and the questions that might be getting overlooked. Instead of spending more months second guessing yourself, you'll leave with greater clarity, direction, and confidence about your next steps. You can book your fertility clarity call through the link in the show notes. So I want to encourage you, don't ignore what your body might be trying to tell you. Learn your cycle, ask better questions, seek support, care for your health intentionally, and remember, your worth is not measured by a timeline or a pregnancy test. Yes, those two pink lines matter deeply. And I know the longing is real, but your story is still unfolding in the waiting. And sometimes the very thing that prepare us for the new life are also the things that begin healing us first. See you next week.
I'm my mama's little fertility helper. If this episode has helped you, or if you feel a little more hopeful, leave a review. She'll love it.
Hi, DTC Warrior. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, please leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. It truly helps to get this show into ears of more women who need it. And be sure to sign up for my weekly encouragement, tips, and insights straight to your inbox. I promise to keep it practical, hopeful, and faith-friendly. All right, I'm off to tacos, chocolate, and chart my cycle. I'll meet you back here next week. Bye.